Distinguished ambassadors, it's a great honor for me to address you during your annual conference. But first things first, a belated Happy Ukrainian Diplomats Day. You have a lot to be proud of. Let me first salute President Zelensky, whose leadership and courage have inspired the entire world. And let me also recognize my good friend and partner, Foreign Minister Kuleba, Dmytro, who's been as tireless as all of you in rallying international support for Ukraine. We just hosted President Zelensky in Washington, where our two presidents had a chance to meet in person at a critical time for Ukraine, our partnership, and the world. President Biden told President Zelensky directly what he said publicly many times. The United States is with Ukraine, will continue to be with you for as long as it takes. That unwavering support was on clear display when President Zelensky addressed our Congress. You could see it in the rousing ovations he received from members of both of our political parties, who joined in calls of Slava Ukraini. As a result of President Zelensky's visit and the work that all of you are doing, our relationship is stronger than ever, and more support is on the way. More military support, so your brave fighters can maintain their momentum in liberating Ukraine's people and retaking more of your country's sovereign territory. More air defenses, so you can protect your civilians against President Putin's savage attempts to plunge them into cold and darkness. More economic support, so your government can continue to provide basic services for the Ukrainian people. More humanitarian support for the millions of Ukrainians who've been forced from their homes by Russian aggression. You have our pledge for more diplomatic support as well. You all serve Ukraine around the world, and I want you to know this. Wherever you're working to build greater support for Ukraine's sovereignty, its territorial independence, its democracy, wherever you're championing the right of Ukrainians to choose their own future, you have a partner in the United States. Our ambassadors, all our diplomats, are with you. Count on us. Because we recognize your work is crucial to sustaining the international support needed to ensure President Putin's war is a strategic failure. The front lines of this battle are not only in Bakhmut and Crimea, they're in every foreign capital, every engagement where you're working to persuade countries to stand with Ukraine and to stand up for the principles that are at the heart of the United Nations Charter. That's what you've done day in and day out. You've rallied partners old and new to provide support and apply unprecedented sanctions and export controls against President Putin and those who have enabled his aggression. You've led a counteroffensive of truth against Russian misinformation and disinformation. You persuaded countries to welcome millions of displaced Ukrainians and to provide them with access to education, healthcare, the opportunity to work so that they can continue to lead lives of dignity and purpose as they await the ability to come home. I've seen the difference these efforts make here in Washington, in the relentless and effective work of Ambassador Markarova. I've seen Dmytro do the same at the G7, at NATO, in the UN Security Council, the Human Rights Council, and so many other places. And you're achieving all of this under extremely difficult and, as the recent attack in Madrid demonstrated, dangerous circumstances. You've endured threats, intimidation, harassment. You haven't given up. You've worked harder. You've endured personal hardships too. You've seen your hometowns and cities destroyed by Russian missiles. You've seen friends and loved ones killed or wounded. You're apart from family members in Ukraine, worrying about their safety. Still, you persist. You deliver for your nation. You deliver for your people. Because of your efforts, Ukraine has stronger alliances and partnerships around the globe, and the world is better off for it. Standing at the White House with President Biden, President Zelensky was asked what his wish was for the American people. Peace, he said, and the ability to see our children grow up in a world without war or violence, so that they can play and learn and realize their full potential. Today, as we prepare to start a new year, I wish the same for you and your children. And I want you to know that America will continue to stand by you, wherever you serve, to realize that just and durable peace. A return to a world where Ukrainian children can live without fear and realize their full potential. Slava Ukraini! Glory to Ukraine's brave diplomats.